Former Malaysian ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Syed Omar al-Saggaf, testified today that Najib Razak and the late King Abdullah had a special relationship. So much so that every time Najib was in Saudi Arabia, he was always granted an audience with the king. According to the witness, the ruler was so impressed with Najib's administration that he offered his help to ensure that the same government stayed in power. By the Malaysian Insight, this is The People versus Najib Razak. Follow us into the courtroom where it all happens. I'm Patrick Teo. On February 10th, 2020, or day 76 of his SRC trial, Najib stepped out of his black sedan in a navy blue suit paired with a matching tie. Greeting his supporters this morning, the former PM seemed a little tense. Today's proceedings was another short one, as the fourth witness was done by lunchtime. Taking the stand was Syed Omar al-Saggaf. He was the former Malaysian ambassador to Saudi Arabia. He had also worked as an interpreter in the kingdom. The witness testified that he was present at a meeting between Najib and the late King Abdullah. He said the king was impressed with Malaysia being a moderate Muslim country in contrast to its counterparts in the region. This, the ruler figured, was because of Najib's effective administration of the government. King Abdullah also noted Malaysia's democratic system and offered his help to ensure that the same government stayed in power. Moving along, lawyer Shafi asked Syed Omar about Najib's relationship with King Abdullah. Syed Omar said the two leaders shared a special relationship. He said that one time, while Najib was in Mecca performing the Hajj pilgrimage, the former premier received a phone call from the king who was in Riyadh. This, the witness said, showed how close they were. Syed Omar continued to say that the king would grant Najib an audience every time he was in Saudi Arabia, which, the witness said, was very rare. Shafi was done, and the court took a break. An hour later, Prosecutor V. Sitambaram began his cross-examination of Syed Omar. The lawyer asked him if he knew how much Malaysia received in donation from King Abdullah. The witness answered that he wasn't sure how much was donated and has never heard of a donation being returned, and he was certainly not aware of the donation letters received by Najib. He did think that it was unusual for a donation to appear as a loan. Syed Omar said King Abdullah never told him about the donation money or its purpose. It was Najib who told him what the funds were being used for, the general elections. So, you have no personal knowledge whether the money was in fact for the election? Sitam asked. The witness answered no. With that, Sitam ended his cross-examination. Shafi picked up his questioning again and asked the witness whether he had taken any notes at the meeting between Najib and King Abdullah. Syed Omar said he didn't, conveniently. He only kept newspaper cuttings and pictures of the event as memorabilia. Shafi then asked the witness about another private discussion held between King Abdullah, Najib, and Jamil Khair Baharum, a former minister in the Prime Minister's department. Prince Turki was also present. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's because he founded Petro Saudi along with Tariq Obaid. The meeting, which the witness did not attend, only lasted a few minutes. It was after the meeting that Najib and Jamil Khair told Syed Omar about the king's generous offer of assistance and funds. Shafi ended his re-examination here, and Syed Omar was released from the stand. Proceedings then concluded for the day. The trial will continue tomorrow. This podcast is produced, written and mixed by Revati Subramaniam, Yapik Kwan and Amina Farid. I'm Patrick Teo.